Hi friends, and welcome back to Reimagining Our Faith. Next week is Holy Week, and it's such an important week in the life of our faith. I had the opportunity to visit the Holy Land in March of 2011. My family and I were able to take this amazing 9-day journey to explore the life and ministry of Jesus. We traveled from Nazareth to Bethlehem, where Jesus was born, to Cana, where he performed his first miracle. We went to the Jordan River, where John baptized Jesus, and to the Church of the Beatitudes, where the Sermon on the Mount was given. We walked along the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus instructed Peter to feed my sheep, and even took a ferry across the water that Jesus walked on. We floated in the Dead Sea and had the opportunity to place our written prayers in the Wailing Wall. All of these experiences were meaningful to us, but it was the experiences toward the end of our trip that really stuck out to me. We spent the last 4 days in and around the city of Jerusalem. We walked the streets that Jesus walked and retraced his final days on earth. Next Thursday will be Maundy Thursday, and one of the final things Jesus did while on earth that night was the washing of the disciples' feet. When we look at the story of Jesus washing his disciples' feet in John chapter 13, we saw Jesus who knew his time was coming to an end. Verse 1 says that Jesus knew the hour had come for him to leave the world and go to his Father. Hours before his own death, Jesus' concern is singular. He wanted his disciples to know how much he loved them. In Jesus' day, the washing of feet was a task reserved not just for servants, but for the lowest of servants. This servant was expected to be the one on his knees with the towel and basin. One of the disciples, Simon Peter, found it difficult to accept Jesus wanting to wash his feet. He asked, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus told Peter that he did not understand what he was doing, but that later Peter would understand. Simon Peter told Jesus that he would never wash his feet, to which Jesus replied, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." Sometimes, like Simon Peter, we have a hard time accepting the gift of Jesus. One year on Maundy Thursday, I attended a foot washing service with my mother. We knew ahead of time we would be washing feet, and this would be the first time that I participated in this type of service. It was different, but looking back was one of the most amazing and worshipful services that I've ever been a part of. When the time came to wash each other's feet, my mother and I walked to the front of the church where there was a chair, a basin, and a towel. She sat down first, and I began to wash and dry each one of her feet. And then we switched places. This feeling of unworthiness came over me. I remember thinking that my mom shouldn't be washing my feet. It felt right for me to wash her feet, but now that the roles were reversed, it almost felt wrong. And in that moment, I began to feel like Peter. My mom was just following what Jesus had asked his disciples to do, and that was to be an example and to serve others. I think it is also important to note that Jesus washed everyone's feet. There isn't a translation that said he washed everyone's feet except for Judas. I can't help but think what a passionate moment this was when Jesus lifted the feet of his betrayer and washed them in the basin. Within hours, the feet of Judas, cleansed by the one he will betray, will stand in Caiaphas' court. It is an amazing picture of Jesus forgiving sin before it is even committed and offering mercy before it is even sought. My encouragement to you today is to accept the gift of Jesus and know that you are worthy and loved. We don't need to look any farther than the final hours of Jesus' life on earth to know how much he loves you and me.